Okay, I recorded this video, but I was a little too, pessimistic, I would say. So let's go over it a little more. So I already know what the banners look like. Yeah, it's not bad, but my issue is with this is for longtime players, let's be real, these characters have appeared in our summons forever, bro. Like, can we get some newer characters like Chevy, who desperately needs a rerun? Right, like Chevy is like a character we desperately want to have a rerun of because she is that good, right? And you know, other characters like Short Gaming last banner, that was a good change up. But I feel like these 1.0 characters are kind of annoying to have to summon for. We're basically summoning for any new 4-star, just hoping to get them off banner at this point, which is kind of unlucky or not really fun to do, right? I would prefer if I had Chevy, right, or basically any of the newer 4-stars, right? Let me look. So, while I do think that they sort of 4-stars aren't really that great, but I would like, you know, Chevy Gaming, Chevy mainly, right? I don't even have her at all. Charlotte, sure, she's just a new 4-star. That is a healer. I would like to make a video of her plus Fiorina and see how that works, right? And then Fremine, he is whatever. Mika is a good 4-star, right? Because he has that crit damage support. And I only have bro at like C2 or something. It isn't that good. I have him at C1. He's been out for almost like a year at this point, I'm pretty sure. And he's still just, nope, 60% crit damage, not happening ever. So yeah, I would like if maybe they did like 6 4-stars and you were able to choose which ones, like which 3 you wanted featured or something, right? I think that would be a more, you know, better system, since they clearly keep returning like 4-stars just because they feel the need to return certain 4-stars, right? But let's talk about the banner a little bit more. You know, other than these being 1.0 4-stars, basically, Yanfei was added a little bit later, but at this point, she's been given out for free, I'm pretty sure. She's been, you know, she's been in the game forever, right? Multiple years. Xiangling, she's good, but they, like, that's, you know, that's it, right? That's all I can really say about this banner. Yanfei will have good synergy, I think, with Emilie. However, I don't necessarily think that makes Yanfei, like, a great pull. Yanfei gives herself a shield with Constellation, so if you get multiple Yanfei, sure. And you know, Razor, he's just kind of a Hyper Bloom at this point. Yeah, he's not exactly a great character, but the other two are decently well, and they work great with Emilie, right? Emilie, you're basically at this point, I'm just hoping that we get, you know, Pyro. It could be Pyro or Dendro DPS character that works great in a burn team, right? If we get that, I think that Emilie is going to be a pretty good character for their team. You know, probably going to be a male character, let's be real. You know, just because, I mean, I think that we're probably, you know, the Hydra character. I mean, like, who knows? Maybe, you know, the Dendro guy, or, you know, I don't think it would be the Geo girl. But I think maybe the Dendro guy will also be based on burn. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, basically, I'm just summoning for Emilie because I think she has future potential, possibly. And Yelan, she's good, but what I realized is that you don't really run her in a lot of, like, optimal teams, right? I use her for fun, right? She's a cool character. She does a lot of damage. That doesn't make her a bad, you know, character, because Fiorina replaced her in most of her teams. Because if you really think about it, Diluc now best team is Plunge. Hu Tao now best team is Plunge. And who are we not using on those teams? Yelan, where she used to have a spot. You know, Yelan at this point now is like that character who, she's good, but like she just doesn't have proper characters. Like, if we get a Pyro DPS that is actually like, you know, I want to be on field and not have plunging as my best DPS, you know, I mean, well, and I mean, we do have technically that, you know, like Arlecchino does work really well with Yelan to a certain extent, but Xingqiu and Yelan was a great combination we had because we would not sacrifice any vaporizes or anything. You know, but now with Arlecchino, I mean, you still sort of have that, but I feel like Yelan is a lot harder to do on that team unless you're like, because like, theoretically, Arlecchino's best team is Yelan, Kazuha, Bennett, right? And that is assuming that you're going to use your burst, right? Obviously. That's assuming that you're going to have Arlecchino go ahead, be able to vaporize and do the rotation, pinpoint exactly all the time, right? Personally, Personally, I don't like that team because it is very, if you mess up, you messed up, right? You lose a lot of damage. So I would prefer if we had more of a character along the lines of Hu Tao and, you know, Diluc that would work with Xingqiu and Yelan combination, right? We do have Yoimiya also, but overall, I would say Yelan overall got worse due to Fiorina and Sinyun's release. I would say Sinyun is also a part of it because Fiorina alone did not exactly replace Yelan at all, basically, in, you know, the Pyro character teams, but the combination of those two characters really did. But that's all I have to really say about Yelan. She's a great character. It's just that she's sort of lost a couple of her, you know, teams where she was like the best character for, right? And then we have Aqua Simulacra and, you know, the weapon banner. Because I don't know, Lumi, I'm good. Just looking over it, Aqua Simulacra is a good weapon, just general weapon. You got Ganyu, you got Lenny, you got Tignari, who all use it beyond just Yelan, right? It's a good, you know, basic weapon to put on your characters. And then the actual weapon is kind of like this weapon, the Luminance. I'm just going to call it Luminance. It's kind of specific. You need to be burning, right, for some of its stuff. But it is still giving you 33% crit rate, 608, you know, attack, you know, base attack, right? And then 15% attack at the bare minimum, right? And I don't know how necessary this is going to be for Emilie, right? Because it recovers 12 energy, which is not a lot to, you know, scoff at, right? That is energy that, you know, is, depending on, you know, Emilie's burst, you know, maybe 12 energy she is at. I don't think you're going to give her like a 40 cost burst. She's probably going to have at least 60 at the bare minimum. But even if it's 60, it could be, you know, maybe she just doesn't generate a lot of particles and her weapon generates a lot of energy for her. But other than that, I don't really see a use for this weapon other than just the very basic stat stick that it is, right? And then looking at the 4 stars, they're not that great. I mean, these two, like, signature weapon banner-ish, like, weapons, kind of not exactly crazy, right? They give you attack. This one gives you attack, and this one gives you attack. Personally, I'm saying Xiphos is a lot better. And then we have Favonius Lance and Favonius, like, Warbow, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. Those are good weapons, great support weapons. The flute is kind of just a meh, you know, stat stick, you know, 4-star, whatever. It's just got a whole bunch of attack from what I remember, right? It's just got, like, the attack substat, right? But other than that, like, it's just, this weapon banner kind of is not really that great. Especially considering if you're going to summon for the weapon banner, who knows what you might get. You might get shafted and, like, wasted a whole bunch of, you know, summons. And then at that point, you just got to throw your hands up in the air and be like, well, we lost. Like, at that point, you just throw your hands up in the air. Well, you lost. You lost 200 summons. You could have just saved for Natalan characters that are probably going to be really strong. So I don't really see, like, you know, thing for the weapon banner. And I will be, you know, following what I say, because I'm personally going to be, you know, summoning for Emilie. And typically, what I've been doing lately is summoning for the character's weapon or C1, right? With, you know, Risley, well, we don't use that as an example because I have him C3 R1. But Nevi, I summoned for his weapon when he came out because Fiorina wasn't out yet, and then we didn't realize, like, how good Fiorina was going to be for him because her entire kit wasn't, you know, like, put out there, right? At least not when I summoned for him, because I summoned for him right away, and then I got his weapon right away. And then, but Arlecchino, I got R1 and C1. I'm just not gonna go hard for Emilie. We'll just say that. Yeah. So yeah, I hope this one was a lot more light tone, because it's, you know, these banners aren't that bad, but they're not exactly in the best position, and also not exactly the best value for older players. Although you could make the argument that these are great value banners because of, you know, the basically C6 options you have here. Because personally, I'm going to summon on this banner and I'm going to get a whole bunch of weapon or pool refunds because I'm going to pull like 3 xianglings in one multi, and that's 3 summons back, right? So yeah, there is a, you know, you can argue with whatever you want, but personally, I would have liked more constellations for different characters, right? Because I really want gaming constellations, but he's unrealistic because he just returned, right? But I would have liked Chevy. Chevy probably going to come back at 5.0. We'll see. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.